Most refrigerators take the last pass of the condenser coil and run it around the front of the cabinet. The warm gases prevent moisture buildup on the refrigerator gasket. This is referred to as either a post-loop condenser or simply a hot tube. When a hot tube develops a leak, there is no way to stop it and no way to replace the tubing. Frigidaire makes a hot tube repair kit that consists of a braided nichrome heater wire that can be pulled through the tube and wired into the system to come on whenever the compressor runs, providing the same warmth as that of the hot tube. While this may at first appear to be a daunting task, with the right technique, it becomes easy. The first step is to cut away the dryer. You'll need to weld in a new one later. Then cut the hot tube right above the sleeve weld coming out of the condenser. You've now isolated the hot tube from the rest of the system. Next, you'll pull the heater wire through the tube using your vacuum pump. First, completely unwrap the wire. Carefully straighten it, ensuring that there are no kinks or knots. You'll find that it consists of two sections, a 20-foot braided wire with electrical connections, and 20 feet of braiding with no wire in it. This braiding is what you will feed into the tube first. Then, you will use it to pull the braided wire through. Using a small rag saturated with vacuum pump oil, wipe the entire length of wire and the braiding. This will both lubricate it and straighten out any kinks. Now, tie a number of knots at the very end of the hollow braiding. How many knots depends on how you tie them. You'll want to end up with a knot that's a little smaller than the tube. It will act as a plunger with the vacuum. It doesn't matter which way you pull the string through the hot tube, but whichever side you enter through, make sure that you ream the opening to a very smooth consistency. You'll find a white tube included with your kit. Slide this tube over the other end, that is, the exit end of the tube. Then connect your vacuum pump to the plastic tube. This tube will let you see when the braided string comes through so that you don't suck it into your vacuum pump. Turn the pump on and just feed the string through. Keep it taut as it goes so that it doesn't ball up somewhere inside the tube. You'll need to occasionally pull it back a little and then release it. If it completely stops moving, then cover the opening and begin drawing a vacuum. When you hear the pump load up, let go and it will begin moving. If this just isn't working for you, check the plastic tube. If it's leaking, you may have to remove it and go without it. If you're still having problems, try going the other way. And remember, when working without the plastic tube, be sure to pull the vacuum line off frequently, checking to see if the string is through. Once you've got the string through, use it to pull the wire section through a little at a time. Run the fixed end across the back of the unit to the compressor relay wires. Cut the excess off the other end. Strip a couple of inches of braiding off the end and double this thin wire over a couple of times. Attach a butt connector and then attach the wire connector provided with the kit to the butt connector. Now you can tie the heater in, one end to the light blue neutral and one end to the red power. The heater will cycle right along with the compressor. Next, you'll need to close the system up. Start by cutting the sleeve weld off the condenser. Slip the provided 1/4 inch tubing over it and run it across the back of the unit toward the dryer. Okay. Now, before you cut the ports on the surface dryer filter, you need to reshape the output. You need to bend it around to reach the shortened cap tube. After cutting the tubing, you may have to ream it out for it to accept the cap tube. Once you've got everything in place, make the line welds and it's ready to pump down and recharge.